Why, hello there, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Hope you had a lot of fun. Right now, it is a pretty rainy day here. It is the end of last week, and the weather, I guess, is better because it's not ice and snow, but it is that typical February weather we know here in Oregon. This week I'm going to head into school and I'm going to do the filming from the studio because we're going to be working with our Google Drawings. So both Intro to Video and Media Arts are going to be downloading their Google Drawings and adding them to their slides. Intro to Video, you're going to be doing something a little bit different that I'm going to get into a little bit later. Media Arts, we're going to focus on kind of the basics of using Google presentations and organizing your files. So let's head into school. All right, so for those of you that have never been in the building, my classroom is actually inside our media center or our library, which is shared with the elementary school. And excuse my squeaky feet because with the wet outside, it's making a ton of noise. Since I'm the only one here, I can take my mask off. All right, let's head into the studio. Hello, Intro to Video production students. Welcome back. It is March 1st through 15th. Hopefully you enjoyed the little intro that I created with this action camera. I'm not going to say its name because if I do, it turns on and starts automatically making a movie. I have voice activation. That's the way I was able to use it while driving. So, yeah, I try and make fun little intros each week. Keeps my video skills fresh. This year, if anything, has given me a ton of practice editing video. So hopefully, I feel I've learned a lot, and hopefully you guys will learn a lot from me this semester as well. So today we're going to make our very first video, and let's do it. So, by the way, this picture I took from Pittock Mansion. I like to share a different photography that I have done that I'm proud of, and I can't wait to see the work that you're proud of too. So let's jump right into it. This week's goals, you are going to create a shared folder. You maybe already have one if you were in this class last semester, which is great. You can just make sure you have it. And you've probably done this in years past for me when you took media arts or if you took hair and TV in the past. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to make a folder called Intro to Video Production. You can just call it IVP for short and your name. And then you're going to share it with me and you're going to put your work in it. So this should be review, so I'm going to go fairly quickly. If you need all the little steps of this, which is totally fine, on the YouTube channel, I have the same lesson for my media art students where it's their very first time. So feel free to take a look at that video where I go step by step with each of these processes, but I'm going to go quickly to save a little bit of time. So you are going to do a couple things today. You are going to create that folder. You are going to create an All About Me Google slide. You're going to download the Google drawing you made last week and you're going to add it to your slide. Then you are going to screen record the slide using WeVideo, and you're going to talk about your video or talk about your Google drawing. So you are going to download you're then going to screen record your slide, and you are going to use that in a WeVideo project. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Oh, also one last thing, you're going to take that slide and you're going to copy it into the group presentation so that you're able to see everybody's slides. And we'll even include the video that you recorded on it. So everyone's going to be able to see your video of you describing your Google drawing on the slide. that we have as a class. So let's jump right into it. All right, so how to make a folder. You've probably done this before. I'm happy to go ahead and do this. I will go quickly and make a copy of this. So let me record my screen and click to record full screen. And it's recording. Great. Okay, so in your Google Drive, when you click on the Drive button on the top corner, it shows everything about your drive. And then you are going to create a new folder by hitting New Folder. And you're going to call it Your Name and IVP for Intro to Video Production. And I'm going to add a 2021 just so that it's clear to you which folder I've created, since I make a lot of these folders for every class. So I will create it, and now my folder shows up on my screen. It's highlighted, and I've got that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on my folder, and then it'll show it in my drive. So I've got my drive and Mr. Oliver IVP 2021. I'm then going to share it. So I'm going to share it with myself. You won't be able to see if I share it with myself, so I'm going to share this with my wife, who's also a teacher, Mrs. Oliver, and I will share that. I'm not going to notify her. You don't even need to notify me with the email, because everyone should just be making folders, and then you're going to put your work in it. Then you can hit share. And now it is shared with one other person. You're also then going to click on the drop-down arrow, and you're going to hit Get Link. And the reason why you want to do that is because we want to not make this restricted. This is super important for the video you record when your video goes in here. So we're going to change restricted to anyone with a link. That way, all you have to do is click on the slide, and you'll be able to see everyone's work. Thanks. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hit done. And there is a little person next to my thing, and that means someone has access to seeing it. So we're going to be able to add our work into here, and it should work great. So let's move on to the first step, which is taking our drawing and downloading it to our computer. Now, here's my Google drawing that I made last week. I've made a couple of changes to it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this by hitting File, Download as a JPEG. And if you're using a Mac or a PC, it goes to your Downloads bar. If you're using a Chromebook, it goes into your Downloads Manager, and I'll show you what that looks like on a slide. I'm not working on a Chromebook, so I can't demonstrate that right now, but I can help you out in office hours if you're having a hard time finding things that go onto your Downloads Manager. And here we have, let's see, what do we need to do next? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my folder, and I'm going to take what I just downloaded. I have two of them because I did one for Media Arts as well. And I'm going to just drag it here by clicking and dragging, and it works well. It uploads. You'll see it in just a second, and there it is. That means that Mrs. Oliver, she has access to this because she's a direct editor as a sharer of this folder, but then anyone with a link is able to see things that are in it as well. So if you were to just share this link with someone, they wouldn't need permission in order to see it. They already have it, and that's what we want, because we want to be able to share our work with others in the class, share it with your family members, things like that. So just go ahead and make sure that you have those permissions set correctly. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make a slide. So you're going to click on Google Slides, and we can just do a blank presentation. And it's going to say create in a shared folder, and that's exactly what you want to do, because then it's already there, and then now you have a slide. So I am going to delete these things, and then I would be able to go ahead and add my slide, and I could do all sorts of things. Remember, I could resize it by holding Shift so it doesn't change in dimensions, right? I can change the background, right? I could do all sorts of things with this. And I've already done this earlier, so I'm not going to do the whole thing right now because I already have another version of this, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first off, make sure you don't leave this as untitled presentation. You want to call it your All About Me slide so that we know what it is. Very important that you're giving things correct names. I don't want to see anything called untitled presentation in your folder. So go ahead and give it that name. Here's my All About Me slide. What I did is I went ahead and made some animations to this. You've probably animated slides in the past. You just do that by hitting Insert and Animations. But then when I play it, you can see now I have a couple things come in. So that is what my that's what my slide is going to look like. And I am going to get on to the next step, which is using WeVideo in order to record this. So here we go. This is going to be fun. All right. I'm going to actually make 2 copies of this. And the reason why I want to do that is because I know when I screen record it, I don't want to have any of the titles that showed up about like being full screen or anything like that. So I have it just in here twice. It's just going to make my screen recording easier. You just screen record it however it works for you, or you can just add your drawing in directly. We can do a variety of things to make this work. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up WeVideo. Remember, you go to class link in order to do this. If you're just going straight to WeVideo and creating an account, you don't have the full access that we do, so make sure you don't do that. When you're done with your movie, if it has a WeVideo watermark across it, you have not been logged in. So you got to go to ClassLink first and log in. Your directions last week were to email me if you're having any problems with this. As of now, I haven't had any emails, so I'm assuming everything's going well, but you're going to get behind very quickly if you don't have this troubleshot. If you don't have it all figured out. So we're going to go to WeVideo. I've already got a WeVideo project going because I was working on something else, but I'm going to make a new project, and I can click on these 3 lines and hit new edit, and now I'm going to have a new video to create. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the screen recorder by going to hit record, and I am going to then just hit screen. I don't want to do, actually, you know what? I'm going to do screen and webcam because that way you've got this together. If you just want to use, we're going to want your audio involved, right? So I'm going to use the screen and webcam. Let's see how this works. And I will hit next, and now it's going to be recording once I have all of these things set. Am I able to use the microphone twice? I'm using this for something else. We'll see. All right, so at any rate, next, now I have this. I'm going to choose, I have 2 screens set up. I'm going to make sure I'm using the correct one, which is my WeVideo screen, and I'll hit share. And it's going to give me the countdown of 3, 2, 1, and now I'm screen recording. So I'm going to go to my All About Me slide, and I'm going to press present. And I'm going to wait for all those things to go away. And then I'm going to hit the next arrow. And there's my Google drawing. Now, I'm going to describe it. I'm going to say, hi, my name's Mr. Oliver, and let me tell you a little bit about me. So I chose Mount Hood because living here in the Pacific Northwest, we are so fortunate to have just beautiful nature right in our backyard. I also love to snowboard, so Mount Hood is a pretty special place to me. I like to ride my bike. I like to play golf. I have 2 kids. That's my daughter Madison holding a pumpkin there. That's my son Aiden on a hammock from a camping trip that we did last summer. Love camping with the family. I have some chickens, so I have some pictures of them. I also have pictures of my dogs, cat, and my lizard. So that's Mr. Scooter, that's Yoda, that is Potato Bob the cat, and rest in peace, Smog the bearded dragon. She died during the ice storm. So reptiles can't create their own heat without power. She was already getting a little old, and so rest in peace, Smog. You were a good lizard. All right, there's also my wife there. That's Mrs. Oliver. And I have a photo there of downtown Portland that I took because photography is a huge hobby of mine. And I took that picture when a bus drove by, so you get these lights. I'll show you that picture later. It's one of my favorite pictures. And then also I have some cards and a cribbage board because my wife and I love to play cribbage. That's something that we do all the time. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, so then I'm going to hit stop sharing. And when I do that and I hit escape and I go back to WeVideo, I'm going to hit save. And now I have my movie and I'm ready to make some edits to this. So let's go ahead and play it to see what this looks like. And now I'm screen recording. So I'm going to go to my All About Me slide and I'm going to press present. And I'm going to wait for all those things to go away. Then I'm going to hit the next arrow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind till I have this blank slide here, and I'm going to hit the scissors to cut my clip. I don't want this thing from the beginning, okay? And I don't need me talking there at the beginning either. So I'm going to press play and see what my video looks like so far. Did I lose something? I'm going to describe. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to make some edits so this looks a little bit better. So I don't need this entire thing of me talking to be so large, so I'm going to double click on it, and then I can move it around and resize it, right? So I'll just have a small video of me describing my video, and I'm going to hit Save Changes. And now let's look at it. right in our backyard. So I'm going to make the cut right when I start talking about my slide. There. Oh, it's gonna. And there's my Google drawing. Now, I'm going to describe it. I'm going to say, hi, my name's Mr. Oliver. And describe it. I'm going to say, hi. Okay, so I'm going to rewind right to there, and I'm going to cut this clip, get rid of the beginning, but I wanted this part animated. And actually, I'll move them both to, actually, I'll move them in a second. You'll see it now. Let's watch it. Hi, my name's Mr. Oliver, and let me tell you a little bit about me. So I chose Mount Hood because living here in the Pacific Northwest, we are so fortunate to have. Okay, and I have two different cameras going, so that's why I'm looking at the camera that I've been recording my lesson with, so you get the point. But there is my video. I can also do some other things to it, like I can go ahead and take a title, and you could pick any title that you like. Ooh, I like this one, and I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to say, and double click on it to make some edits. And now where you click on the speech bubble, and I could customize text. Where at the top is, I could say, get to know Mr. Oliver. And then I could say, intro to video production. Something like that. Right? That looks cool. Actually, I'm going to make this one slightly smaller. So if I click manual and then click down, see, I've got the same size there. Let's see what that looks like. I'll hit Save Changes. And now I could test and play it. All right, that looks pretty sweet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my other pieces back like this. I'm actually going to go ahead and use that copy and paste trick that I showed you earlier. And I'm going to paste that, Command and V to paste. Clip cannot be placed. There's not enough section. What are we talking about? What about here? Close. I don't know why that didn't work. Command V, there we go. Okay, then I'm going to make sure I get to the end of my slide. Rest in peace, Smog. Where I'm done talking. Some cards and a crypt. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, so then I'll stop my video here. When I say hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. And I will shorten this. Right to the hope you enjoyed, and then I'll put that here. And now I've got a video. Now, I'm going to do some other things too. I'm going to put some B-roll in here. And the way I would do that is by hitting the plus button. And then I'm going to add another video line. So I'm going to add a track. I have some video that I could talk about, that I can show of my dogs, of my cat, of the lizard, things like that. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you some options that we can do. I'm not going to make those edits here right now, though. But you get the idea. I would put them on the video 3 line, and they would all play together. And then the final step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some music. So I'm going to go into audio, and I'm going to find a song that I like. That works. I'm going to take this song, and I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to make sure it's as long as my whole clip, because that's important. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to fade it in certain parts. Now I will take the same song. Let me see if this will now work. If I can just click on it. Oh, I can just drop a line. That works much better. And I can have it slowly fade down to 40%. Then I can click here. And I could put this down to 40% as well. And then it's going to get louder again. And I'm going to bring this in. Oops. Looks like you want to do your trimming first. Then I'm going to move this line so that it's at 40% at the end of my talking. 41%, that's probably pretty good. What is that one? 42%. I don't think you would even notice the difference if there's 40. Okay, let's see how that sounds. So I'm going to move my playhead to the beginning, and now I got my title, got my music jamming. Hi, my name's Mr. Oliver, and let me tell you a little bit. All right, there we go. So now I have that happening, and that is all added to here. Okay, so you can get much deeper with this. You can do some interesting animations with your video. You can play around with it. So get creative. We're going to be using the software all year. This is your first, all right, I can make sure this works, project. So when we're finished with it, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the button that says finish, and we're going to set a title for it. This is my All About Mr. Oliver. And I'm going to hit set. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this is in its highest definition, its highest resolution, which is 1280 by 720, which looks totally fine. No, this is not in 1080 or 4K, but it's fine. It looks great, especially on a smaller screen. You're going to hit the drive button, and you're going to hit mark export as public, and you're going to hit export, and it is going to magically go to your Google Drive. So we'll come back to this in just a few minutes because it's going to take a little while to process. All right, so let's get back to where we were. So now that we have, we've made our slide so far, haven't we? So there's our slide. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make some changes to this a little bit though, okay? So I am going to show you what I want to do. So I am going to have to make this a little bit smaller. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's not going to be the only thing on my slide. I'm also going to have my video on here as well once that's finished exporting. All right, when that is all completely finished, what you're going to do is you're going to copy that slide, right, just by hitting Command and C or Edit and Copy so that you can copy it to the presentation where everyone's going to be able to see your work. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and make that right now, but you'll see this in Google Classroom under your assignment. So this is going to be File, New Presentation, because I'm starting it, but you already have yours. This is going to be all about IVP 2021. I can get rid of that beginning part. Oops. All about IVP 2021. And I'm going to even delete that slide because it doesn't need anything yet until I have my slide added. So what I would do is I would take my slide just like this and copy it. And then I would come into here and all about IVP. And when this is selected orange, I can just paste by hitting Command and V. Now you've done this before with my media arts classes, but just a review, and now your slide is here. Please don't make any edits to it, and you can hit Do Not Link, and then we're good. We've got it all in here. We have everything we need, and everyone will be able to see your work. Now, the only difference is you'll see the one that has your slide finished. So let's see if my export is finished on WeVideo yet. So there it is. Excellent. Okay, so it has been exported and it should be in my drive. Let's go look for it. So I'm going to open up my media arts folder, and it's not in there yet because I just exported it to my drive. But if I hit recent, it should show up. Maybe. Let's refresh under recent. Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? Here's the All About Mr. Oliver. Now if I double click on it, has it been processed yet? There it is. My video made it into Google Drive. Okay, what you can do now is you can move this into your folder. By hitting More Actions, you can hit Move To, and I could say My Drive. And then my folder is called Mr. Oliver IVP. Right? It's alphabetical. Mr. Oliver IVP 2021. Move here. Now it's been organized there. You can also drag it some other ways. Please come to office hours if you're having a hard time with any of these techniques. It's really quite simple though. Now it is in my folder, and if I go back to my folder, let's see, I have to get to it out of here. So click on My Drive. That little triangle, I can scroll all the way down. Mr. Oliver, IVP 2021. There it is. I now have 3 things in my folder, just like our goals for the day. I have my untitled presentation. Why is it an untitled presentation? I'm going to have to change that. But then I have my Mr. Oliver All About Me JPEG that I downloaded, and I also have my All About Mr. Oliver movie. So I have all of these files in here because that's what gives people permission to see it once you have your video embedded. So here's where it's going to get fun. I'm going to go to my presentation, which is untitled. That is bad. I'm going to change the name. I'm going to say All About Mr. Oliver IVP. Okay. And now I'm going to take my slide. I'm going to make this a little smaller because I'm going to add a video next to it. And I'm going to do something that you maybe haven't done before, which is insert a video. You're going to choose Google Drive, and it should show up as a very recent folder thing. Oh, there it is. All About Mr. Oliver, MP4. I'm going to select, creating a video. Now I have this video that will be on my slide. Okay. Now, let's talk about some graphic design elements here. All right, well, the weather's looking a little better, and today's secret word is Happy Valley Middle School, right? Home of the heron. So hopefully you guys will be back here in person someday soon, and enjoy the rest of the video, but the secret word is Happy Valley Middle School. All right, it distorted things too. Let me change that so it looks better. Okay, I want to not have a gray gradient slide over top of a gray gradient background. So since I've already screen recorded it, I'm going to go and change this. So I'm going to hit slide, change background, and I'm going to choose something that contrasts with it. So now I might choose something much darker. So maybe I'll do something like that, and done. And now I think that looks a whole lot better. So I'm going to copy this slide, Command and C, to the All About IVP slides. So I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to paste it, Command and V, and there it is. And I'm going to do not link. So now when people come to my slideshow, they're going to see my drawing, but then they're also going to see my video. Watch this. All right, so that's this week's video. I can't wait to see your work, and what's cool is everyone's going to be able to see your work as well. So let's review our goals one more time. I know this was a long video, but we had a ton to cover, and so going back to this week's goals, there we have it. So you have that created a shared folder, right? Your name, IVP. You have it shared with me. You have it public so people can see the files that are inside it. Otherwise, when they go to the slide, they're not going to be able to see your video. Want to make sure that's all set, right? You've got the slide created. You've got the drawing downloaded, and you have the video, and those have all made it into your folder, and you are in good shape. It's copy and paste. It's there together. Please press turn in Google Classroom also, because I'm going to grade your slide individually. That is the graded portion of this week, but we want to be able to share each other's work so that we can see everybody's slides and everybody's videos from all of my classes. All right, so there you have it, everyone. Never stop creating, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to get out of here. Have a great week.